Empire.
Welcome to Inside the Cap. I'm your host, Joel Corey. You can find me on X at CORRYJOEL. You can also read my regular CBSSports.com column, Agents Take on NFL Salary Cap and Contract Matters. This time around, we're going to go into detail about Jonathan Taylor's new contract. The last few days have been very eventful for Jonathan Taylor, more so than we ever thought they would be. First, it was announced that the Colts were going to open the 21-day practice window for Jonathan Taylor to come off PUP beginning in Week 5. And then he was considered questionable, and then it was decided he was going to play. And then yesterday, a new contract gets done. So I guess all's well that ends well, and this confirms, or is another example of something I discovered early on when I was an agent, that even if there's a deteriorating relationship between a team and a player, like you had with Jonathan Taylor and the Colts, that money can fix that problem. And Jonathan Taylor yesterday got a 3-year, $42 million extension running through the 2026 contract year, running through 2026. There is $26.5 million fully guaranteed of guarantees total, and $19,347,556 fully guaranteed at signing. Let's give a complete breakdown of this contract. Taylor was scheduled to make $4.304 million in 2023. That was his base salary. His base salary for 2023 is going to drop to $1.01 million, his league minimum. So that means he's getting 4 weeks worth of salary the first 4 weeks of the season at the $4.304 million. So that's $956,444. He's getting 14/18 because it's an 18-week regular season of base salary at the new $1.01 million. That's $785,556. So his combined 2023 base salary is going to be $1.742 million. Taylor is getting a $10.248 million signing bonus in the deal. He's getting $2.562 million of the signing bonus on October 20th. The remaining $7.686 million is payable March 29th in 2024. Now, that means that Taylor is going to make this year $11.99 million as opposed to $4.304 million. Now, 2024 he has a base salary of $7.804 million. He's got $510,000 of per game roster bonuses where he has to be on the active roster. In 2024, that's $30,000 per game. His base salaries in 2025 and 26 are both $11.98 million. He has same per game roster bonuses in 25 and 26, totaling $1.02 million. That's $60,000 per game. So if you aren't active, you don't, for that particular game, you don't get the $60,000. How do we get to the full guarantee of $19,347,556? Well, that's going to consist of, and I'm not counting the $956,444,000 that he's already made. So that's why I'm saying $19,347,556. You've got the remaining $785,556 he's supposed to make this year in base salary. You got the $10.248 million signing bonus, the $7.804 million 2024 base salary and the $510,000 of per game roster bonuses in 2024 are essentially fully guaranteed. That the skill and cap guarantees are at signing, and then the skill and injury guarantees are at signing. The cap guarantee, I should say, kicks in 3 days later. So that's where we get that amount. Now, if you add in the 956, 444 he's already made, then you've got 20.304 million fully guaranteed at signing. So if you want to add that in, then it's 20.304 million fully guaranteed at signing. If not, then it's $19,347,556 fully guaranteed at signing. Now the total guarantee is $26.5 million. That consists of the $985,556 remaining base salary in 2023, the 2024 base salary of $7.804 million, the 2025 base salary $7,152,444 of the $11.98 million is guaranteed. It's guaranteed for injury at signing. And on the fifth day of the 2024 league year, I believe that's the 15th of next March, the skill and salary cap guarantee kick in. So it's going to vest a year early. You've got the $510,000 of 2024 per game roster bonuses, along with the signing bonus. That's the $26.5 million. Now, from a cash flow standpoint, I like the deal because Jonathan Taylor was supposed to make $4.304 million. He's going to make $7.686 million more this year than he's supposed to make. His new money through the first year, new year 2024, $16 million. New money through the second new year is $29 million, and then $42 million through the third new year. From a pure cash, not looking at new money standpoint, the cash goes. He's making $11.99 million this year. Cumulatively, he's got $20.304 million through 2024. $33.304 million through 2025 and $46.304 million through 2026. Now, the cumulative cash and the new money are different because you subtract out the $4.304 million from the $46.304 million, and that's going to get you to $42 million. If you look at it from a percentage basis, percentage of cash after the first new year, 38.1%. If you had a neutral deal, you'd have 33.3% either front-loaded or back-loaded. My general rule of thumb is my goal would be to be anywhere from like 37.5% to 40% through the first new year. We're in that range. In a neutral deal, after the second new year, 2025, you'd be at 2/3 or 66.7%. I've tried to get in the high 60s to 70% would be ideal. The 29 to 42 is 69.05%. So, yeah, I like how the deal is structured. The per game roster bonuses, interesting wrinkle, and they're a little high, but to get $14 million per year, become the third highest paid running back in the league, maybe that's a fair trade-off. That if Jonathan Taylor can't stay on the field, then that deal is going to get reduced by the games he misses. Would have preferred for them to be 5-10 a year for each year, as opposed to 1.02 million in each of the last 2 years, but that's splitting hairs. Now, from a salary cap standpoint, Jonathan Taylor's 2023 cap number remains unchanged because the $10.248 million signing bonus is getting prorated 2023 through 2026. And that's $2.562 million of proration each of those years. He's making $1.742 million in base salary this year, the blended base salary between what it was at $4.304 million and the new one at $1.01 million. Coincidentally, you add up the proration for this year, and The new proration from the signing bonus and the blended base salary, that's $4.304 million. So Jonathan Taylor's cap number this year is going to remain $5,126,922. His 2024 cap number is $10.876 million. 2025 and 2026 cap numbers $15.562 million in each of those years. Now, this thing could have been done without all the acrimony where you got Jonathan Taylor, whose agent goes publicly after Jim Irsay, charges bad faith about running backs wanting contracts renegotiated. So I blame Irsay for starting it, and then the agent for taking the bait. This all could have been avoided if the Colts had done what they were supposed to do to begin with and just do the deal during the offseason. None of this mattered. We don't go through the acrimony. All's well that ends well. But this is a deal to me that always made sense that you were going to do for a couple of reasons. Don't forget, when Jonathan Taylor was last healthy, he led the league in rushing by more than 500 yards in 2021. So we're talking about a guy that potentially is the best pure running back in the league. He's not the same dual threat back as a Christian McCaffrey. Had 1,811 rushing yards, 20 total touchdowns, 18 rushing touchdowns, 2,171 yards from scrimmage in 2021, averaging 5.5 yards per carry. So that's what you get with Jonathan Taylor at his best. He's 24 years old, so he's young. And this is a team that isn't paying a quarterback anytime soon, because you got Anthony Richardson, and this is a guy that should be his best friend, because Richardson looks very promising from what we've seen so far, very inexperienced in terms of how much he played in college. We can't pay him till 2026 at the earliest. So you got a guy that won't be eligible for an extension. If you have actually hit on the quarterback and you got your guy long term, you can't pay him till the 2025 regular season ends, which will be in January 2026. Taylor's going to be in the last year of his contract. But this does buck a trend for the Colts. Colts historically have not paid huge money to a running back. That if we go back to the Marshall Faulk days, 1999, they trade Marshall Faulk for a second and fifth round pick to the Rams. And you know what they do with the fourth overall pick? They draft Edgerrin James. Edgerrin James plays 6 years on his rookie contract, because you can sign rookie contracts that long back then. It actually was 7 years, had a voiding year, devoided to 6. Franchised him a year, then let him go in 2006 to sign with Arizona in free agency, the Cardinals. They draft Joseph Adai with the 30th overall pick. They win the Super Bowl in 2006. Won Super Bowl 41 over the Bears, with Joseph Adai taking over for Edgerrin James. They did pay Joseph Adai, not huge running back money, but nonetheless, they did give him a 3-year deal in 2010 for $14 million when his rookie contract expired. He only lasted 1 year. They cut him after 1 year, so they basically paid him $8 million for 1 year, and then played 2011 for the Patriots and was out of the league. But committing big money to a running back is something that hasn't been in the Colts' DNA. Now, as I said, $14 million per year makes Jonathan Taylor the third highest paid running back in the league. I call it second, although on paper he's third, because you have Christian McCaffrey, who's been the highest paid running back since 2020. I don't know when someone is going to go past the Christian McCaffrey deal, but McCaffrey did an extension with the Carolina Panthers back then, which was a 4-year deal. He had 2 years left on his rookie contract, and it was in April 2020, averaging $16,015,853 per year. He had $39,162,500 in guarantees, and a running back best $30,062,500 fully guaranteed at signing. Now, To me, Jonathan Taylor, second highest paid guy. Alvin Kamara on paper, $15 million per year. That's cosmetically, it's really $12.5 million per year. Because the last year has $25 million of compensation. So you subtract out that $50 million to four real years of the deal at $12.5 million per year. So Jonathan Taylor right there, to me, second at $14 million per year. This can be looked at kind of a modified or an updated version of what happened with Nick Chubb. And he was the last running back to get paid, Nick Chubb, in 2021, to get a big deal. Before you had the downturn this year where we went from 8 running backs making $12 million per year or more to 4 before Taylor. Chubb in 2021 and heading into the final year of his rookie contract. 3-year extension, $36.6 million total, averaging $12.2 million per year, $20 million overall guarantees, $17 million, $133,059 fully guaranteed at signing. So it's kind of like they not complete apples to apples, dollar to dollar, but basically adjusted Nick Chubb for cap inflation to get to this deal. Could have done this in July or in training camp in August or beforehand. Avoid the acrimony. Maybe Jonathan Taylor's ankle was fine enough to play week 1. I suspect he would have been fine enough to play if he was traded. That's neither here nor there. Now, he avoids going year to year on the franchise tag, which was probably going to happen if they didn't do this deal and he plays out the year. I can't guarantee you, but I would have been shocked if they weren't going to franchise him. And the running back franchise number is going to project to 4.653% of the 2024 salary cap. So, say the salary cap is set in the $245 million neighborhood. It's currently 224.8. We're talking basically a 9% increase at that number. That put it right around $11.4 million. And then if you go 2 tags, tag him again in 2025, based off these numbers, $13.68 million. Then you're talking $25.08 million for 2 tags through 2025. Now, if you look at the cash, he's better off doing the deal than going year to year. Because if you're talking about through 2024, he would have made $4.304 million this year, and let's say 11.4 on a tag. Then he's going to make 15.704 through 2024 on the deal is at $20.304 million. Cash through 2025, he's going to be at he's at $33.304 million. So you're talking $25.08 million on 2 tags, plus the $4.304 million. That'd have been $29.384 million. So this works out better for Jonathan Taylor. Avoids the risk of poor performance and injury. Gets the deal done now. Everybody's happy, and the Colts are able to pair Taylor and Richardson for the foreseeable future. 3 guys in particular should be very interested in this deal. Saquon Barkley, the 3 franchise tag running backs, Josh Jacobs, and Tony Pollard. Pollard's having the best year out of any of these guys. Pollard looking like the workhorse back that people didn't think he might be. He's second in league in carries with 73, 311 total rushing yards, 5th in the league. He's projected at this rate 310 carries for 1,322 yards, 9 rushing touchdowns. Sharing time with Ezekiel Elliott past 2 years combined 323 carries. He's only 13 carries behind that projected what he did last year. So he's franchise tag number of $10.091 million. He signed quickly because of the ankle injury. It'll be $12,109,200 to franchise him again. We'll see if he keeps this up. Dallas will pay him somewhere between Nick Chubb and the Taylor deal, because I think the Taylor deal is going to be the ceiling if he's indeed stopped the bleeding on the running back market, and these other guys are going to be able to get deals over 10, 11 million, or at least the Nick Chubb floor, $12.2 million to $12 million per year mark, and add to that to try to get it back to the 8 that we had at the end of the 2022 season. Josh Jacobs, the offensive line's not opening holes. He admitted that he was rusty after missing all of training camp in displeasure as an unsigned franchise player before he actually did come in the latter part of August and became the first franchise player in history to get more on a base value than his tender. He signed a one-year tender of a base value of $11.791 million, $1.7 million above what he was supposed to make on his tag. Second tag for him will be $14,149,200. The CBA mandated 20% raise. He better pick it up if that's going to happen, or they're even going to offer him a huge long-term contract. He's off to the slowest start of his career. Has one rush of 10 yards or longer. 10 yards is the longest rush. The line ain't helping him, doing any favors. But Josh Jacobs, so far this season, 62 carries, 166 rushing yards, 2.7 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. Did have a career high 81 receiving yards in the Raiders' last game. He's got 18 receptions for 173 receiving yards. That's more than – he's becoming more of a dual threat than before. And then there's Saquon Barkley, who, to me, the Giants should have just signed him at his reduced rate, which would have been probably, I think, from the reports, was going to be less than the last offer they had on the table. They had to put that franchise tag on him in March, so it would have been right around the Nick Chubb neighborhood. But he's been out for an ankle injury, high ankle sprain that he hurt against the Cardinals in Week 2. He's still out. He's not going to play Week 5. And his absence is definitely showing. Cardinals have lost the last 2 games by, Giants, 39 points without him. Saquon, before he got hurt, 29 carries, 114 rushing yards, 3.9 yards per carry, 1 touchdown, 9 receptions, 41 yards and a touchdown. That the injury is going to bring back the durability concerns, but he's still the most valuable player on offense, or best player on offense. Obviously, by nature of position, Daniel Jones has more importance because he's a quarterback, but these 3 guys most interested in the Saquon Barkley, the Jonathan Taylor deal. Whether Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, or Tony Pollard will capitalize remains to be seen. But Jonathan Taylor has stopped the bleeding for the running back market by surprisingly signing a 3-year, $42 million extension with $26.5 million in guarantees, $19,347,556 fully guaranteed at signing. That's going to be it for this week's This Time's Inside the Cap. Don't forget, you can find me on X at CORRYJOEL, and read my regular CBSSports.com column, Agents Take on NFL Salary Cap and Contract Matters. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.